Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. So now we come to the Coastal-Burwood Community Board. Kim Munning. Kim, welcome to the table. Good to have you with us. And Tim, you're with us as well this afternoon. That's great.
Thank you. I bought a little pot. Thank you.
So not only do we have a presentation, we've also got props. This gets better. And I'm assuming that you are special. Well, no, we'll hear what you've got to say about it, actually. We won't assume anything.
Good afternoon, Andrew, councillors and staff and community. It's great to be here. I've got, as you said, Tim Sintas, our Deputy Chair, and Joe Wells, our Governance Board Manager. Part of the next slide is the community have already thanked you prior to the decision, but really we just wanted to say publicly today, thank you very much for that hot saltwater pools money and the annual plan and the other things that you passed in the annual plan. I couldn't, there's some of them there that you saw in the annual plan process. We couldn't go through the entire thing, but when I was out trying to find a balloon, I thought this one was actually a little bit more special because all of you are very special and we do really appreciate that decision. So thank you. Our community is so excited because of that.
Don't take it to heart.
The injection of hope that it has given and the boost of confidence, it's just amazing. And we also just want to take this opportunity to thank the community for the work that they had done to get this over the line. It really has been a real working together. So it's been the community board, the council, staff and development Christchurch. So can't thank you enough, thanks. So now moving on to, you can enjoy that while I just talk about other things. Under the board discretionary response funds, just want to highlight a really fantastic community initiative, which is the New Brighton Community Fridge. You will have no doubt seen quite a bit of publicity on this. It had huge community support. The idea came simply from an amazing community person. It was just started as an idea based on an Auckland model, and so a very, very professional initiative here, and it's free food for people. It's open from 7 days a week, 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. and a good amount of volunteers have to actually look after it, and it's based at St Faith's Church. So our council staff have also been helping the lady Trudy Burrows and St Faith's Church going through this process. So really fantastic, could even be a pilot for other areas in the city, but a great way to sort of recycle food. A lot of supermarkets, instead of throwing it out, they can put it in the fridge and it's churned over, and sometimes it's empty 3 times a day, but it just seems to get stocked up all the time. So a lot of people from the community are putting into that and contributing to it, and also the businesses around in the area. So absolutely fantastic initiative there. Under the significant community issues we've got Tim today. We'll just speak on this one here. Thanks, Tim.
Right, this is more about the flood protection proposal. Look, I can't say enough about what the council did the other day in the annual plan. The residents themselves are incredibly encouraged by the fact that you're going to look at it, the South Shore, South Brighton edge. It's a huge lift for the community, and again, I can't thank you enough. And actually, on behalf of the community, I'd like to thank you for that. It's a huge lifter. And just something else also, just a few things that have happened recently. The news of the estuary, South Brighton, going to be included as a feasibility study, plus the jetty and the boardwalk being done, plus the most amazing children's playground and the saltwater pool coming along. You've got no idea how much that's lifted the community. I know we've had a lot of money spent in our area, but it's mainly been underground, but this is actually what people can really appreciate. And personally, I just moving around in the community, I can see the whole mood changing. People actually saying something's happening now. And as I said, I know things are happening underground, but it's on top that people really care about. So just a few things that's happened has totally changed the psyche of people. So cannot thank you enough for that. And honestly, it's created a momentum, and we believe other people are seeing that, and I think, you know, particularly the saltwater pools, I think will be investors out there who are seeing a commitment by council who want to come on board. Thank you.
Right, thanks, Tim. Also, the New Brighton regeneration, the beachside playground, that going out at virtually the same time by Development Christchurch, and the consultation has just again injected an excitement into the community, and also, you know, the delivery by Christmas has been fantastic. It's like literally all their Christmases have come at once, so very exciting about that, and do appreciate all that Development Christchurch has done around those works and are still doing. What do we got next? Oh yes, here's some other amazing community initiatives that have been going. I mentioned the Imagination Station, that's just booming with all the kids with their Lego, which has probably got about another 7 weeks to go in New Brighton. There's a bit of a pilot there. And also some other awesome person, Daniel Manchester, in the community wanted to bring people into the area in a different way. And so the empty shops, he's partnered with ARA, the students there, and as you can see on the screen at the bottom, there's they've transferred a photo, don't ask me how, onto the shop front window, so it looks like the shop is a bicycle shop. It actually was the old tattoo shop, but this is fantastic, and since that was actually done, other empty shops in the area have also put their hand up and said, hey, we'd love to have that on our shop window. So until we get the real people, these are the people that we've got in the meantime. So awesome to have been initiative there by one of our community, Daniel Manchester, which is fantastic. As Mike said, the Community Services Award are absolutely amazing. We have a lot to be thankful for. As you can see up there is the formal photo, but the more exciting photos are at the bottom. We have one of the recipients, Floyd Rudolph, with his 2 beautiful daughters, and Floyd plays waiata every day at Rafferty School at the beginning of the day and the end of the day, and has been doing it for years. And on the left you can see there that as a group we had the special privilege of singing one of those songs. So it wasn't a duo, I can tell you, it wasn't the 2 of us, it was all of us singing together. So that was just fantastic to be able to celebrate those volunteers in our community, and that make our city, as Mike said, a lot richer because of their generosity, and it's really nice to publicly acknowledge them. We had 18 present at that time, so that was amazing. The other thing that we did, we haven't got a picture for, but you can look at that one in the meantime, was our community board hosted a Residents Association forum, and it was over a dinner, and our staff did an amazing job of putting this together. It was an informal get-together, but it was the opportunity for the residents associations to do some networking with the board and with themselves, other residents associations, share what they are actually doing in the area, and also the opportunity to provide input into our community board plan. So there was 10 residents associations that attended that, and because it was so successful and enjoyed, we're going to have, well, we were so busy we couldn't take any photos, that there'll be a follow-up to in a few months. But we'd also like to sort of have a similar events with the general community groups in the area, and also with our youth. Great way of getting feedback and helping our decision-making process. There we have the Shortland Street Playground, which was a great day there that, as you can see, one of our councillors attended, and one of our community board members there, and this is a real great collaboration between council and the Wainoni Pack and Save to activate an old playground and do something really special. But I'd like you to note in that photo who's actually doing the real work. The wee fellow down on the right.
Point of order, I did plant. I've just been to church and I did plant in my church gear.
I'll just point out that those shoes you're wearing are actually more appropriate for dancing than planting.
Multitasking.
Okay, good for you. The next one here, we had a great celebration there, the Matariki in Zone. It was organised by Avon Otakaro Network, celebration of Matariki at the Mahinga Kai exemplar site on Anzac Drive there. Also included was the opening of the Poppies over Gallipoli Sculpture Garden, and the community board contributed funding towards this, and David Ace there was able to represent us as a board and laid a wreath. And you might notice there that the actual garden is shaped as a poppy, and half of the stones well, the stones on the left are from the Waimakariri River, and the other half are actually from Gallipoli. So that is a very special garden, yes, so that is amazing, but perhaps that shouldn't go out too far because we do want them to stay there. So that was just an awesome completion of that site, which we're very grateful for. And just to wind up, we've just got a lovely photo there, just to remind you how beautiful our city is, of the estuary there.
And is he still wearing his dancing shoes?
30 seconds. Thank you.
Great, thanks very much indeed, Kim. That does leave us time just for a couple of very quick questions. So Phil and then Glenn.
Thank you, Kim and Tim. Can I just ask you about the community fridge? Idea has really caught on. So I'm just wondering too, though, for older people, say, who are quite isolated and not able to get to it, is there a way that perhaps some of the agencies, care agencies in your community, might be able to work with some of them? Is that a possibility?
That's a really good thought, and I'll take it back to Trudy. I don't know the answer, of course, but I'll actually take that to Trudy and see if that, whether there could be some register or something put beside the fridge, maybe. I'll take that back. Yeah, good thinking. Thanks, Phil.
Great, so Glenn, yours wasn't a question? Nope, so I'll take Aaron's question in that case. Yep.
So mine's not a question, it was a compliment actually. Your first and last photos, Kim, if someone was, I know we get a lot of immigrants into New Zealand, people moving here to live here, if you were going through Auckland Airport and you saw those photos on a billboard that says median property price in this neighbourhood is $320,000, we wouldn't be able to keep the people out. It's a stunning neighbourhood, and your photos capture that, so I thank you for that, because we too often see in the media the really crappy ones, and yours are gems. So yeah, thank you for the good work, and consider it as a billboard. We as a council may go halves with you.
And if you need any sales and marketing advice on that, he's your man, clearly. Okay, great.
Yes,
so
very much.
Do we have a mover and a seconder for this report? So moved David East, seconded Glenn Livingstone. Glenn, you want to speak to this?
If I may,
you may.
Very quick points, mindful of time. The first is, I think there is a noticeable lift in New Brighton. Just check out a couple of the cafes there. One that was busy, can't keep up. The other that was quiet has been really lifting for quite a while. Just on the Shortland playground there, I think that's a good example of a PPP, where Wainoni Pack and Save invests significantly in the community. And you may not have seen it in the photograph, but the staff room overlooks that playground, so that's kind of a passive surveillance. So that's another good outcome in terms of planning and meeting our objectives, our SIT-TED objectives. So Pack and Save and the council went in halves over the funding for that. All up, it was a really good thing, and I have to give credit to Marcel out there. The boss at Pack and Save does great things to the community, so it's just brilliant.
Great, thank you very much.
Yep.
All right, so I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? That's carried.